Didn't have any sound. I'm here to help you today keep your eyes on the prize and ease yourself through the resistance cycle that shows up every time you dare to break out of your current box and head for your dreams. We have been talking about the resistance cycle and about escaping the resistance cycle. Now, last week we talked about what happens when we go for what we want, we head in that direction, and the resistance cycle begins to pull us off track. If you don't remember why it pulls us off track, go see some of the previous videos. But needless to say, the resistance cycle gets activated, and the first stage of activation is here where we start getting a little off of track because of discomfort, feeling odd. It just doesn't feel that comfortable, and we wonder what's going on. I thought I was heading for my dreams. I should be in bliss. I should be feeling really good, but we don't, and we don't know what to do about that. So we kind of just keep forcing ourselves on, right? But then we get pulled again by the resistance cycle into some of more active resistances, minor mishaps, little illnesses, upsets with other people, and we just don't know what to do with that. But now we're starting to think, hey, wait a minute, is something wrong? Am I doing something wrong? Becomes a quiet question in the back of our minds, which is not a good question to be entertaining, is it? So then what happens is we get pulled even further. We get pulled up into this stage 3, and up here in stage 3, this is where it becomes even more active than the active resistance. It's actually a tug of war pulling us back and forth. And this is where we begin to experience anxiety, worries, genuine doubts, deeper doubts. We don't know what to do with that. And because we haven't learned what to do with that, we think we can power through it, right? It's just mental toughness. I can power through this. And what begins to happen is we have this tug of war, negative, positive, negative. I will get through this. And we grit our teeth and we bear down and we begin wearing ourselves out. And I have to tell you, without proper direction, the ego always wins. It always wins. That's not true. If we have a big enough why and a huge amount of desire, okay, see, that's not always true. I said that, but it's not always true. But it's usually true. What usually happens if we don't understand what's going on, we're going to lose that tug of war because the ego is so strong. It's so clever and subtle at what it does. So why is this a problem right here? Well, you can see it's beginning to turn the corner and turn us back the other direction. So that's a problem, isn't it? Because we're no longer headed towards our goal. But here's the biggest problem is that we just wear ourselves out. We wear ourselves out trying to overcome what we think is negative thinking, negative feeling, negative actions, this huge drain on our resources. And that is exactly how the resistance cycle works. That's what it's designed for. The ego has an agenda to take us back where we first started, where it thinks we were safe and comfortable. And so it's rejoicing. It's rejoicing at your wearing out. So how do you escape at this point? Well, I will tell you this, that right here is a real tipping point. This is the point where if you know what to do, you can get yourself back on track. You can get yourself back on track at any step in the resistance cycle, but here's a really good tipping point. It's a very powerful time to engage more of our mastery, more of our tools and our ability to direct and redirect that ego energy so we don't get worn out, and believe it or not, so things get done in a much more easy way. And that is what's possible, is right here when it feels the most wearing, the most like giving up. It's really the time that we can regather our inner resources, work with the ego instead of against it, and get ourselves smoothly working back towards our goal. So I want to let you know that next week I've got a masterclass coming up. So stay tuned here, like, share, DM me your questions so I make sure that those are covered in the webinar, the masterclass on escaping the resistance cycle. We're going to really dive into these even deeper. And I would like to know what your questions are so I cover that. And you can also come and ask questions live because it's just going to be pure value and information. It's also going to be interactive, and we will be having a Q&A as part of that. Just to let you know, I've got a second, not a webinar, but an event coming up that's a cold calling boot camp. And where does the ego and the resistance cycle really get engaged is when we're looking for people's approval and their yes, and we're afraid that we're going to get their rejection and their no. I have some wonderful tools to offset that get us right back into service and contribution and efficiency in our reaching out to let people know about our services. So again, stay close. Let me know if you're interested in those. Find me on my website, find me here on social media. Can't wait to meet you if I haven't met you before, and can't wait to catch up with you if you're someone I've worked with in the past. All right, remember, what do I always ask you to remember? The resistance cycle is something that happens to every person every time you choose to go for it. It's not a sign that something's wrong. It's a sign that things are changing. When you understand what the resistance cycle is really all about and you have the tools to work with it, not against it, you won't wear yourself out, and you'll get through things much more quickly, smoothly, and easily. Catch you next time. Happy Monday, everybody. Bye now.